Another excellent early season fly is the Snipe and Purple, and this is how Walbrand in his 1895 book Grilling and How to Catch Them describes it. Walbrand had a tackle shop in Leeds, and he fished the Ewer extensively. And he was drowned at West Tanfield. In fact, he's buried in West Tanfield churchyard on the banks of the Ewer. And this is T. Pritt's drawing in his book again of 1895. He also was a Leeds angler, although he was a banker. But he fished the wharf extensively round Otley. And this is his description of the fly. Whenever you look at all these old books, the hook sizes they mention bear no resemblance to the numbers we use today. This is from the 1935 Hardy's catalogue, and the new numbers there start at 000. I think, although I can't find that out, I think that the 000 is what we today would call a size 18. They didn't produce anything smaller than a size 18 because they were tying flies with gut. Nylon wasn't invented until the 1940s. And of course, with finer nylon and the strength that nylon gives you, you can tie much smaller flies. The smallest hooks today, I think, are a size 32, which are absolutely minute. I've never tied anything smaller than a size 20, a sort of midge pattern, and never had much success with it, even when the only flies on the water were clouds of midges. So this is a snipe swing, and you want one of these covert feathers, these feathers that, small feathers that cover the large flight feathers, the primaries and secondaries. So you just need one of those there. You can use a starling as a substitute for this, or a green plover if you can get hold of them. So there you can see the two to compare with one another. This is the snipe, and this one is from a starling. It's slightly darker. In fact, it might be slightly better because the Snipe and Purple represents an emerging iron blue dun. So either of these will do. I'm sure the fish wouldn't really notice any difference. And this is Pearsall gossamer silk in purple. So I'll just wax the silk and pull it across this block of wax. Beeswax is too hard, so you just need a mixture of beeswax and some softer wax. Cobbler's wax is ideal for it, it's quite sticky stuff. So just catch in the thread, silk, and in touching turns all the way down. I like to use bronze coloured hooks. I think the silver hooks which you can get are, I think the fish are a little bit wary of them. Just cut off that excess there. So again, I just bring it down so that it's between the point and the barb. Now I could at this point tie in a fine bronze wire. Reg Regini, who was a great, probably one of the most well-known grayling anglers after Walbrand, he used to tie in this little bit of bronze wire here, or gold wire, as a rib, but we'll just tie the original spec. So I just come back up again in close touching turns. To where I'm going to tie in the hackle, leaving room for a little neat head. So there's the body on the fly. So there's the hackle ready to tie in. And I tie it in by the tip. So I want the softer fibres nearer the tip on the fly itself. These soft fibres have to move in the current, and the ones towards the butt of the feather, they tend to be a little bit stiffer. So just tie this in, and I want the bright side facing the head. Just take away that excess, which I don't want. And I'll bring that back up, leaving room for the head. You have to be very delicate with this. And I might just put one turn on. There's one turn. Just make sure the hackles are free. And then just tie that off. Just remove the butt. and just tie on a small head. And then whip finish. And it just needs a little dab of varnish on the head now. Very light varnish, very dilute. You don't want too much on there. So there it is, the Snipe and Purple. It's a very, very popular fly in the north of England on these fast flowing water coming off the Pennines. It represents an iron blue dun, an emerger. But it does work very well on cold, dull days. Fast moving water, just cast it across, let it drift down, and these fibres here, very, very soft, they move well in the water. Don't tie them down flat, they've got to be sticking out like that, so as the current catches them they fold in, and when the current is less they come back out again, so you get that kind of movement. And again, just as you're coming towards the end of the drift, just put a couple of twitches, just see if you're going to get that trout which is eyeing it up to grab it as before it comes off the water. So there it is, Snipe and Purple, a very, very traditional North Country fly here in England. Early season or late season, but particularly April. End of March, beginning of April.